Gold, Part 4, Chapter 1. "John, I've got to talk to you," said Father Philip Spare, moving quickly into the room and coming to his desk. He was a few years older than John, bearded, dressed in his usual attire, white collar with baggy black shirt tucked loosely into his jeans, his feet bare in sandals. "Father Tom is dead. He died before he got to the hospital," the priest said, his eyes sad, but the rest of his features contorted as if in anger, something John had never seen on this man's face. He had a slow, bookish voice compared to John, who spoke his words quickly and precisely. But the priest's voice now had a hard edge to it. "I'm sorry, I was at Mass when he collapsed," replied John. The priest put his hand on his forehead and shook his head as he sat down. "We all tried to tell him, but good priests won't slow down." The young priest's weight made the wooden colonial-style office chair squeak as he squeezed his round body against the slender arms. "John, Father Tom told me you're his executor, and to see you if anything happened to him," he said, looking up. "How can I help?" John said. "I want to know about his will." "So what's this all about?" John grinned. "It sure can't be money, because Father Tom didn't have any." The priest sighed. "I'm sorry, John. I know the will is his private business." Then after a pause he sighed again. "I'm afraid it is about money, a lot of money. I just found out that Father Tom was involved financially in an activity outside our little parish church." "What kind of activity?" asked John. "I don't know. This is all so sudden. Steve had called me about Father Tom, and I rushed back from giving my Mass. As soon as I entered the church office, our housekeeper told me I had a call. It was from one of the brothers at the Chestertown Monastery." "They found out pretty fast." "Yes," he said. "That is what I was thinking about when I picked up." John nodded. "I thought that old monastery building had finally fallen down." The priest turned and studied the few passers-by outside, walking in the heat, as if he were afraid of being overheard. Then, again looking at John, he said, "Brother Timothy asked for Father Tom, and I had to inform him that the priest was dead. Timothy began crying on the phone. When he got control of himself, I asked if I could help." He looked at John. "This is very difficult for me. I never suspected that Father Tom would be involved in anything like this, and I didn't know who to turn to." John nodded. "I'm glad you came to me," he said. He didn't know Father Philip very well, but he and both priests had watched Oriole baseball games together on Father Tom's little black and white TV. Father Philip looked at John intently and said, "John, it was a very strange conversation. Brother Timothy told me that Father Tom was supposed to deliver a large amount of money to him last night. I said I didn't know about it and asked if it was for the monastery. He said that Father Tom had arranged for him to take the money to give it to someone else. He said that he assumed Father Tom would bring it this morning, and when he didn't come, he was worried." Brother Timothy was silent for a while and then said, "I warned Father Tom that this might happen." "Do we normally give money to the monastery?" asked John. "I thought of that," said the priest. "He wouldn't tell me anything else. He said he had promised Father Tom to keep the matter secret. I was worried about the parish, John. I don't know what was going on, of course. As soon as I got off the phone, I went into Father Tom's files and checked all the books. I couldn't find anything. If it had been church money, I'm sure there would have been a record. Father Tom was very honest and very organized, you know." John asked, "You're here because you think I might know where Father Tom got the money?" The priest nodded and said, "You know about his estate. We have maybe a couple of $1,000 donated total from all the Masses each Sunday. That's all we get." "How much are we talking about?" asked John. $100,000. Father Tom pronounced each word slowly, as if he were counting it. "Damn," John said, his smile going. dropping the will documents on his desk, the sudden noise causing the dog to stand up. Excuse me, Father, that's very big money, he said. Then he asked the priest, you hope he has a big estate tucked away in his will. The priest tried to smile. John could understand the reason for the priest's confusion. The old man's strange financial transaction could cause the priest parish embarrassment, something that would have consequences for its religious goals. The priest added, believe me, look at the condition of our church building, and you can tell we don't have wealthy Catholics in our parish who can spare this kind of money. We get tourists at Mass, not rich donors. He looked down. Before I came here, I'm afraid I had to check around the rectory, Father Tom's car, his room and study. I found nothing. I just don't understand this. This is not like him. I've seen him take his spare dollars and put them in the collection basket at Mass. So you don't think that this was church money? Asked John. I just don't know, Father Philip twisted in his chair and said. It gets worse, John. Brother Timothy told me that Father Sweeney had been making the same delivery once a month on Saturday nights for the last 2 years. John sat forward, pulling the folded will document. That's over $2 million, he replied. $2,400,000, said Brother Timothy. And Brother Timothy said it was always in $20 bills, all worn bills, said the priest, spitting out the words, almost choking over the great sums he was reporting.